You already know who it is. You already know what it is. It is your boy, the Outlier B, and I'm right back about you cats with another video. What's populating, my people? What is populating? Y'all already know what it is. Again, what's up, man? It's Friday. It's Friday. My brother's feeling good. This is the last day of the work week, and we made it, y'all. We made it. Hopefully, on Monday, you guys set up goals, and hopefully, every single day that passed, you moved closer to that goal. So what's up? What's going on? What is going on? This is the Outlier Podcast again, and if you are up at this time of the hour listening to this podcast, it did not catch you by accident, my people. You are right exactly where you're supposed to be. You are also an outlier, just like me. And what is an outlier? Outliers are people produced by the system. However, we are the statistical people that stand outside of the norm. So, if you've ever been alienated by mainstream society, if you ever feel like your thoughts are just a little bit different, if you are consistently misunderstood, you, sir or miss, may be an outlier too. We got somebody early on the check-in, they said, hey man, how are you? They asked me, remember me from India? Let's see. Zizuli. Yes, sir. I remember you. I definitely remember you. Are you the person from India who wanted to be a data analyst? Are you that same person? But I do get a lot of people checking in from India. So shout out to my people in India. We are in it together, my people. We're definitely in it together. Somebody said yes. That's what I'm talking about, baby. So how has that been going for you, my friend? How has it been going? Have you made any steps closer to being a data analyst? So yes, he said, I appreciate. Thank you. No problem. I appreciate you, man. I most definitely appreciate you. So we got a great episode lined up for you. I'm going to tell you about the cologne that I'm wearing today. We just finished up speaking about the vetiver fragrances. We did vetiver extraordinaire this week, and last week we did gray vetiver. So my final thoughts on vetiver extraordinaire: it is most definitely a strong fragrance. It's a fragrance that's going to last you for a long time. It's a fragrance which projects. It's also an expensive fragrance. So would I buy a full bottle of it? I wouldn't buy a full $230 to $300 bottle. I will buy that $90 travel size. So for me, it works. It fits my lifestyle. I do have a travel bottle, which I didn't finish all the way. So I will buy it over again after this one is done. So for me, it most definitely works. Today, since it's Friday, I decided to throw a curveball at you and bring in a wild card. And that wild card is D.S. Durger's Mississippi Medicine. Now, this is a difficult one, my people. Let me read the comments before I get into that. Somebody said, yeah, I appreciate it. Somebody said, yeah, I retired. I started working hard. I am working on SQL this week. Okay. SQL, you working on SQL. That's what up. That's a very, very, out here, I don't know about India, you know. I do know in America, those skills are most definitely appreciated in databases. And my company, we're database heavy. And the person who I work with, her name, I'm not going to tell you her name, but she's also from India. She's very, very, very intelligent person, man. She helps me out a lot, and she definitely uses SQL. Me, I've been programming with VBL. So you already know I use Excel a lot. But my uses of Excel go beyond just regular formulas. So I use VBA to get data from databases, also to create applications with Excel. So that's what I've been doing. My boy came on and said, I'm working. Okay, that's it. That's what he's been talking about. So yeah, power to you. Power to you, my boy. Power to you, man, and keep it up. So yeah, that Mississippi Medicine by DS and Durga. This one gets dirty, my people. It gets dirty. This is a dirty one, man. You know, on the website of DS and Durga, since they are a niche brand, they come out with fragrances that are a little bit outside the box, and they definitely fit outliers. Definitely fit outliers. And this one is resinous. It smells like a little bit of oud. It smells like very woody. And it's a dirty fragrance, man. When I say dirty, I mean, you know, it can kind of get musty. You have to be a bold person to wear something like this, and you have to have some confidence because, again, everybody's not going to appreciate this one. Everyone's not going to appreciate this one. On the website, what they say is that it smells like a cult. It smells like you're in a cult in the middle of the woods. So think about the Amazon or somewhere deep in the forests of Africa. Think about that. The rainforest, some place like that. And think about what somebody who's been chilling over there would smell like, you know. But for me, it's cool. It works for me. Somebody said, WSG, bro. Have a great day and morning, Brody. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Oh, Earthly Start. I like your name, Earthly Start. Yes, sir. Earthly Start. I like that name. And we do have an earthly start. It's a little bit drizzling out here in Freeport, New York. A little bit of mist from the drizzle that's going on. But I love it. I love it. I love the way it feels out here, man. I feel like something special about to happen this morning. Feel like something special about to happen this morning. Yes, sir. So that's my review of DS and Durga. This is my Friday curveball that I'm throwing at you guys. You know, we're going to see what's going on with that. So I'm on my way to work. On my way to work. My boy Earthly said something else. He said, I just found out cologne channels about 2 months ago, and I spend so much on colognes. I won't need any for about another year. Spent about $400. Yeah, that's the thing about when you start getting into colognes, it definitely changes you. You want to get a whole bunch and see exactly what's going on. So what kind of fragrances did you buy? Yeah, I started my journey about maybe 2 years ago, also 2.5, and I got a subscription service where I get 3 premium fragrances every single month, man. And it gives me a chance to experience all different types of fragrances of different price points and see exactly what I like. And it gives you a chance to basically test them out. And, you know, you don't got to spend a whole bunch on those fragrances because, as you said, they can be very expensive. My boy said you should try what you say, Al Queen Silver. Okay, that's a Middle Eastern fragrance. Is that a Middle Eastern fragrance? It sounds like it. I definitely like the Middle Eastern fragrances, man. Been getting into them. One of my favorite brands, if you've been following the channel, is Ahmad. And they have like Interlude, man. They have a bunch of Reflections, man. I did a few reviews on those, and I definitely like them. So I'll check that out. Definitely check that out, man. You know, definitely check it out. So y'all see me on my way to work, man, every single day around 4:30. Last night, I worked very, very late, man. Got in like around 10 o'clock from doing so much work. And a lot of this work is coming because we have so many people looking at our numbers, attempting to punch holes in them. And I've had a 20-something odd year career where I've been trusted with my numbers. Everyone sees the hard work. But, you know, it just seemed like people got personal vendettas. And it could be frustrating, man. It could definitely be frustrating knowing that you are doing your best and that you are transparent in everything that you do. But sometimes some people just want to wake up every day and just cause problems, you know? So in situations like this, of course, you want to lash out and you want to get angry. But listen, I'm not going to allow emotions to get me off of my game or pressure to try to get me off of my game. All I'm going to do is just work harder, be more transparent, and just, you know, do what I got to do. Just do what I got to do. So that's where we're going with it, you know, and I can envision in the future just more of these hard working days. And it may seem unfair, But at the same time, the 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 good part is that you have understanding. And once you put that time in, nobody can take that time from you. And I always say information and knowledge is power. So I'm not gonna look at it as a bad thing. It's probably a good thing because I'm learning things that nobody else in the company know. So it's cool. I ain't even stressing it. Somebody on the check-in said other people's BS motives be more. Yup. Somebody said, what do you know about Pablo Escobar? We get people that come in every single day speaking about drug bosses. I spoke about this yesterday. I definitely spoke about this yesterday where I said Pablo Escobar, a lot of these guys, just like in my neighborhood, you can look at a notorious drug dealer in their neighborhoods. A lot of times they do help out. I know in America you got drug dealers who lend out money to people who don't have monies, who can't get traditional loans from the bank, people who have issues paying rent. A lot of times they help out. They give out turkeys. They do a lot for children. But at the same time, selling drugs can't be good. It's not good. It breaks down families. It has repercussions that extend beyond them. So these guys are polarizing, very, very polarizing. I can't come up and say that they're all bad because, they do positive things. But at the same time, I'm not with drug dealing. I told you guys a personal story yesterday about my little cousin. I won't get back into that. You guys can watch the live stream on that. I've also had people that I've known who have lost their life to selling drugs and warring over corners and things like that. So in those instances, I see that. And, to a certain extent, me, myself, a couple, on a personal level, a couple of cars that I've purchased, have come from people. I've gotten loans from people who don't necessarily do the right things to get their money. You understand? So I can't put myself above that. But at the same time, drug dealing in any community isn't necessarily the best thing to do. Somebody else came in and said, you got the right mindset, bro. Keep doing and stay out the way and keep that positive energy going. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Earthly Star. We got some, what do you know about Rich Porter? Somebody said you can't do good for your community and then turn around and keep your community down from said drugs. Somebody said drugs are great. You're right, Earthly Star. You're 100% right. And I definitely agree with you. Definitely agree with you on that. Definitely agree with you on that. You're 100%, man. Definitely agree. I can't argue with that. Somebody asked me what I know about Rich Porter. I don't know too much about Rich Porter. I've watched some of the movies about Rich Porter, so I do not know too much about him. I didn't know about him when he lived. I am from New York. However, I live in Nassau County, which is Long Island. From Harlem, we are about, 45 to 50 minutes away, like car drive, depending on the traffic. It could be even less. But speaking of that story, I believe I told you guys before that I know people who live in Harlem, Sugar Hill to be exact. So you talk about Rich Porter, I can tell you about Alpo. And the day that Alpo got killed, the block that he crashed his vehicle on is the same spot where I used to spend a lot of time. And the person who I was messing with, she heard the whole thing go down. So that same night, she heard gunshots, right? She ran to her window. Look, she said she heard a car crash right on the same corner. If you guys look at it, it's on the corner of 147th Street. She heard the same thing. So she texted me. She like, yo, Brad, somebody just got shot and I seen the car crash right on my block. She took a picture of it before the news even came out. And I was just like, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. So the next morning I woke up, they said Alpo got killed. And I'm like, wait. Is this the same person that she sent me the text message of in the vehicle? And it damn sure was, yo. Damn sure was. That was Alpo, son. That was Alpo. That she heard the gunshots and the vehicle when it crashed on her block. She seen it. And she sent me a picture of the vehicle with the gunshots in it. And also, she said she seen the police take the body out of the vehicle. Now, it's crazy because there was people online speaking about, oh, Alpo didn't really die. And it was a whole bunch of conspiracy theories going on saying that wasn't him. But I knew it was him because I got the footage of the vehicle prior to the story even coming out. And, you know, I seen the Jeep that she sent me, and it was 100%, you know, definitely 100%. Somebody said, we on the check-in. We got people talking about it. Somebody said, agreed. Somebody said, being blazing saddles high is the best. Well, if you high on weed, again, weed ain't, I'm not gonna put weed up there with heroin and crack and fentanyl and things like that. Weed is definitely different. So if you has blazing saddles on weed, then you straight. And speaking of blazing saddles, that was a hilarious movie from back in the day. Definitely one of my favorite. Somebody asked me, am I Nigerian? Nah, I'm not Nigerian. My people are from the South. My mother was born in North Carolina, and my father was born in Alabama. My mother moved to New York with her family when she was still a child. I think she was like 9 years old. And then my father, he actually came from Alabama when he was like 18. Moved out here by himself, moved to Brooklyn, and him and my mother met. You feel me? Somebody else put the hearts in the check-in. What up, what up, what up? Somebody said, what about Frank Lucas? Oh, you talking some Harlem legends, man. Some Harlem legends. Frank Lucas. I don't know too much about Frank Lucas. I know the building that he lived in Harlem. That was very close to 147th Street over there. So I know the building that he lived in. I do not know him personally. I don't know too many people that know him. Again, I'm not from Harlem. I just know a few people in Harlem, so I've been in and out of Sugar Hill, in and out of Sugar Hill. So shout out to the people out there in Sugar Hill and Harlem. We got somebody said, your thoughts really inspiring me. Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We got somebody ask me where I am. I am in Freeport, Long Island, my people. Freeport, New York. It is a suburb of New York City. Somebody asked me, am I married? No, I'm not married, but I'm 45 years old. I did get married back in the year, it was like 10 years ago. No, it was longer than 10 years ago, almost 20 years ago. I did get married when I was 30 years old, so it's 15 years ago. I got married when I was 30 years old. Unfortunately, my wife passed away. She had diabetes, and it was complications of diabetes. She had a blood clot that traveled, and you know, she lost her life. She lost her life. I still think about her. She's definitely in my heart. A lot of things I do is for her name, you know, but she's still with me in spirit. I love her. I will forever love her, you know, forever love her. But that you know, that is what it is. Somebody said, I would like to work with you. One day, I will definitely. Shout out, you know, my email is intheloopradio2000@gmail.com. Again, that's intheloopradio2000@gmail.com. If you ever move to America, hit me up, especially in New York. We're going to see what's good. My people see what's good. So now let's get to this Ahmaud Arbery thing real quick before I have to catch my train at 5 a.m. So earlier, a couple days ago, we spoke about Ahmaud Arbery and how the case more than just the jogger being in the community. I spoke about how the community was on high alert based off the fact that there was a bunch of break-ins in the community. The people did see Ahmaud Arbery inside of that same house that they saw him in on the fateful day a few times. So they actually knew who he was. And Travis McMicheals actually came face to face with him one time. And he approached Ahmaud, asked him, why is he in the building? Ahmaud ran back into the building. Travis called the police officers, and he said that he saw what he thought was a gun on his waistband. So they thought that Ahmaud Arbery was strapped. That was never confirmed. Nobody can say what happened. But who were the McMicheals? Who were the McMicheals? So the person who actually shot my boy Ahmaud and killed him, Travis, he was unemployed at the time. However, he was a mechanic. He worked in the Coast Guard, and he was one of those type of guys, you know, like a handyman and that type of person. And his father, who was Greg McMicheals. Greg McMicheals was the person who actually saw Travis, who saw Ahmad the fateful day, and told Travis to grab the gun, and he was the driver. Like he wasn't the driver. He was on the passenger side, but he was another person who grabbed his shotgun and was aiming his shotgun at Ahmad, yelling profanities at him, telling him to slow down and telling him to stop. But the deeper issue with the McMicheals are this: these guys were people who was on the internet, right? People who were on the internet, and their hard drives got confiscated. And what the Georgia Bureau of Investigation found out was that they were on racist message boards, people. They were on racist message boards making derogatory comments about black people. So when Travis had gotten a job working, over waters, in the waters and off the coast, he was saying like the best part about his job was the fact that he didn't have to work with N-words. So he's saying like, oh, the best part of my job is that I don't have to work with N-words. Then you have Greg, who was a police officer before he retired. He was also on message boards saying, calling black people names like bootlicks. They were saying that black people couldn't do this and black people couldn't do that. Now, these look like just, comments from people who maybe they don't feel that type of way, but they were on comments. Maybe they even just thought that these were just funny comments. And they never thought that what they put on the internet would ever come back to haunt them. But in actuality, if they knew that maybe 5-6 years later that they would kill a black person for just being in the building and they just assuming that he was doing something, I'm sure they would have never, ever made those comments that they made online, my people, if they had a foresight to see that this is what was going to happen. And I'm not going to say that they are racist people, but those comments that they put out there, maybe they were just trying to be funny. But at the same time, they got the rope that was used to hang them, and it took the case from just being a case of you thinking that somebody was doing something that they weren't doing to now it being a case of a civil rights issue. And in Georgia, that becomes federal now. So now you go from just being a regular case now to it being a case where now you could get life in jail based off of the fact that now it's a civil rights issue. Now, we got to get into DA Jackie Johnson. DA Jackie Johnson. And I'm going to get up out of here. Because I got like 3 minutes. I'm at 7-Eleven. And I got to go make my coffee and catch this 5 o'clock train. If y'all want to hear the rest of the story about the actual citizens arrest, we're going to get into the citizens arrest law. We're going to get into if it was legal or not on Monday. But we got to get into DA Jackie Johnson. Now, DA Jackie Johnson, she was brought up on federal charges because this lady, I'm not going to tell you if I agree or not. I'm just going to give you guys the evidence. She got caught up in a situation prior to the Ahmaud Arbery case with a white woman who was driving her vehicle. Now, this lady, she was a dangerous lady, but the Georgia, I forget which town or which village it was in, but they tracked this lady down. Her name was Miss Small. Her vehicle was basically disabled. They stopped her from moving. Like she was barricaded in one way so she couldn't move, and then police cars were surrounding her, and she couldn't move. The police got out of the vehicle, and they were giving her commands to get out of the vehicle, and she didn't. So there was one officer who fired 5 shots and killed this lady through the rear of the vehicle, shot straight through the car, a white lady, and took her life, straight up took her life. It looked as if it was excessive from the police officers, but her office protected these officers. They lied, hid information, and the officer didn't get brought up on charges. It just so happened that this same officer went crazy, went and killed his girlfriend. But they have on record this guy bragging about killing this little lady. Her last name was Small. He bragged about killing her, and her office protected him. Now, fast forward to years later, it happened that right after the shooting, Greg McMichael, who worked for her office, he called her right after the shooting. right after the shooting. He called her, yo. Craziness. So she recused herself, said she couldn't take this case, but she still gave it to another DA Barnhill, who was the person to actually say that no fouls, no charges should be filed against the McMicheals when he had a hookup because his son worked in her office also. So no charges were brought up against the McMicheals in this case. Also, they told the Arbery's mother that he was killed and while he was doing a robbery, which wasn't the case, man. It wasn't the case. So that's where we stand. I'm going to get off here. I got to go make my coffee and go catch my train. But that's where the case is going, man. And we're going to get more and more and more into it. But it's craziness, man, craziness. So let me read the comments before I get out of here. My boy BRCB2 said hi. My boy Kevin said good morning. Somebody, my boy Zizi said, sorry for your loss. They asked me, do I have children? I do not have children yet, but I am going to the doctors at my age of 45, and I am trying to have babies early next year. Somebody said, damn, I was scrolling. Now I'm being yelled at about laws. I'm sorry if I felt like I was yelling at you. I'm not yelling, my brother. Somebody said, this is Montana. Shout out to the people in Montana. Somebody said, watch your time. Definitely, Mr. Griffin. I got to get up out of here. I got 4 minutes. Somebody said regular dirty. This is how they do. Regular dirty. This is how they do. And we got Brooklyn on the check-in. Shout out to my people in Brooklyn, especially East Flatbush. Those are my people. It look like the boys is out this morning. I'm up out of here, man. Peace out, man. Thanks everybody for checking in. Yeah.